Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Actually, how you doing?
You wanted to talk to me?
For a few minutes.
Okay.
Just to put a thought in your mind, and then you proceed from there.
Okay.
Whether you do anything with it's up to you.
Let me ask you this first.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're all on the same sheet of music. Are you wanting to talk to me about something that's totally separate from your?
Yeah, absolutely. It has nothing to do with my case.
Okay, good.
It has nothing to do with my case.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because if you did, if you want to talk to me about that, I just wanted to tell you that we probably should call your attorney.
Well, I just got done with him.
Okay.
I mean, I just left. I've been over there for 2 hours with him.
Okay,
For
good.
an hour or whatever.
Okay.
But to make a long story short, in which, you know, his words to me were, is that, you know, state, federal, local are all separate and all that, but as you know, I've been around for about 4 years. And I'm like you. You got 1,000 snitches on the street. I do too.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the nature of the business.
Sure.
You know in your mind what's going on out there.
Okay.
I mean, you know, a lot of it you know, a lot of it you can't prove.
Sure.
But you know, and eventually you'll get around to it.
Right.
It's
We
kinda,
hope.
well, it's kind of like having a basket full of snakes, and every time one pops his head up, you reach out and you thump that little snake on the head, and he goes away, and you thump another snake on the head, and he goes away, and you thump another snake on the head, and he goes away. But you always got a basket full of snakes.
Sure.
To make a long story short, in which I'm not going to get into the particulars of my case, but you know and I know that I have not harmed anybody. You know that, and I know that. I'm not even asking you to agree or disagree.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is if y'all were so inclined, in which, you know, think of Fruit Loop running around town now. Rumor Control has it that, like Fruit Loop, you know, he shot somebody here a while back. You know, got charged with assault or shot at somebody or whatever. Just, you know, he didn't even get charged. You know, there's, make a long story short, you got a boy over here for attempted murder that was shooting at Fruit Loop, Fruit Loop shooting back at him. Fruit Loop doesn't even come down here. You know what I'm saying? And I know why Fruit Loop doesn't come down here, because his mouth is like a loose faucet. I mean, you know,
But there's several Fruit Loops. Which one are you talking about?
he's a little light. He's got the Fruit Loop tattooed across his knuckles.
No, we've got 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's, Spurlock's got it.
That's it.
Jeffrey Spurlock.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking about, which is, I'm thinking of another Fruit Loop also.
Yeah, we've got several Fruit Loops.
Okay, I know.
That's why I was saying which one.
He's
you're
got it
talking
on his
about.
neck, Fruit Loop across his neck.
Yeah, I think this is the Fruit Loop I'm referring to, but,
Okay.
you know, basically, you know, the Rumor Control, in which I wasn't there, I don't know, this is just rumor, but, you know, I heard that he shot somebody or whatever a while back, years ago, or last year, or 10 years ago, or whatever, you know, and you charged him to start with like an attempted murder, and then it ended up being an assault with a deadly weapon. Have a nice day.
Okay, was it the city's case?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I really don't know. What I'm doing is I'm pointing something out.
Okay,
I mean,
go ahead.
And what I'm getting at is, you know as well as anybody else that you can do pretty much what you want to do as long as the DA agrees with it. And the DA can definitely do anything he wants to do. You know, he does what he wants. But the fact of the matter is, if y'all were so inclined, I know of a bunch of stuff around town, and I'm not talking about a $20 bag of pot.
Right.
I'm talking about, and I'm willing, and I'll even tell you this, I'm willing to take a polygraph with some of the things I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you some things in which I will not, and I repeat, I will not give you a name. I will give you instances, people, places, and things, but I won't tell you who it is unless we can reach an agreement on some things. I mean, you know, but you decide if you're interested in pursuing it.
Okay.
But I'm willing to take a polygraph to pass what I'm telling you. And I know that a polygraph is not admissible in court, it ain't what they should in court, but I know that you use them because it tells you whether the guy's lying or not.
Sure,
That's,
absolutely.
That's the bottom line. If there's any deception on his part involved.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Now, of course, the jury, they don't want to hear it. You know, but I'll take a voice stress, I'll take a polygraph, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I know a situation where the man has 40 kilos of coke. That's what he does a month, 40 keys. He deals both here and in Columbus. Now, he'll be a metro situation.
Okay.
I know of another situation. There's a 30-kilo minimum. We could walk up today and buy 30 kilos of coke if we had the cash. Flat out. Now,
And both of these people live here?
The one of them lives over in Columbus.
Okay.
That's where he lives. The other guy, I'm not real sure where he lives. I know of him, and I know how to get to him.
Okay.
I mean, it won't be me going and making the buy. What'll have to happen is I will have to, like I know you, I'll have to get you because you know him.
Okay.
And then me and you go buy from him or whatever.
Okay.
You know, if you don't want me making the buy, I'll get the wire video
okay.
where you know I know what I'm talking about. And he's also, and this one that I'm talking about, this 30 kilos, he's up, I think he's in Atlanta is where I think he is. But he will take 100 pounds of reefer a week just boom, 100 pounds to clip, no problem. As much as you want, as much as you can bring to him. If you got 100 pounds, he'll take it.
Okay.
At $500 a pound, it's a $50,000 transaction just like that. I know of another situation where a fellow's back and forth across the water, and I think he lives here, and I think he also lives over in Columbus. But his situation is he can put together, there's Richland.
First off, let me make sure I'm following you. The guy in Atlanta not only sells coke, but he buys marijuana.
Well, he sells marijuana and he can't get enough.
Okay, so we could reverse him, is what you're
reverse
saying.
sale.
We could sell him some marijuana
Right.
at $500 a pound.
Right.
Minimum 100 pounds.
Absolutely.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
Absolutely.
go ahead.
Yeah, we could reverse dosing.
Okay.
That's what it amounts to. And the thing to do with him would be is to sell him a couple of 100-pound lots to get his confidence up to where he's feeling real good about himself. And doing this, the person that I'm talking about using, you're going to love this because you've been after this son of a bitch for years. And you've got him right now for a little Mickey Mouse, a little bit of nothing. You know, his ass is over there right now, as a matter of fact, and his ass is going upstate for just a little bit. But his ass will be back.
Okay.
You've been after his ass since you were a small child. I mean, you know, I'm telling you, when I tell you who he is, you'll feel your britches.
Okay.
You get hard on it. But these are three separate people. None of them are related. You know, they're all three separate entities that are going. This third guy I'm talking about, he's not dealing in a large quantity per se, but he can put us on 39 people, I think is what we counted up. We're talking about Phoenix City, Tuskegee, Eufaula, Auburn, Opelika. You're talking about Columbus. You're talking about Richland, wherever. That's over there, the other side of Columbus, somewhere down towards Carroll County or whatever.
Right.
I mean, you're just talking about, and what it is a bunch of dope, all of them. He's buying, this third guy is buying from the first guy that's the 40 kilos quantity. He's buying dope from him, but he wants to step up to the plate and be a big boy.
Okay.
Is what he wants to do. He wants to be the bad guy in town. But he's got, I think we said 39 people he's willing to put together. And we can get up close and personal. If we'll sell him reefer at $500 a pound, we can get wire and video on every one of them jackasses. And there's a whole thought, we could actually, instead of us having to go to them, we could actually get them to come to us. But it would take an investment in time, effort, and money on y'all's part. I mean, I'm talking about y'all gonna have to go and rent a building. We're gonna have to set up a quota business. You know, and I'll tell you what you're gonna have to do, but it's nothing major, but you're creating an illusion.
Sure.
And I'm not talking about just me standing there making the transaction. You're gonna have to get somebody from outside of this county. I mean, you're gonna have to get a DEA officer or somebody that is not local, that is not Columbus, that is not, I'm talking about somebody out of Atlanta or somebody out of Montgomery. Get you 2 or 3 of those people. We'll have them standing at the door, patting them down as they come in to make the buy. Because I've already told them if they come see me to do anything, no weapons. You know, you get your ass patted down at the door, you do your transaction, the whole 9 yards. To top it off, they are willing to bring people to us for $500 a pound. I mean, you could have, I don't know what a man gets charged with, like if you buy a pound of marijuana from me, what do you get charged with?
If I buy a pound from you?
Yeah, if you're just a guy on the street and I sell you a pound of marijuana, what would you be charged with?
Well, you're still charged with the, you can be charged at a pound with the distribution because of the weight.
That's what I'm getting at. That's the reason I told him he's wanting, you know.
Or possibly trafficking.
Right.
Whatever.
I figured distribution's what I figured. But.
Possession, absolutely.
Oh, without doubt, in the first, without doubt.
You know, but depending on the weight, then that charge can be.
Well, what we can do is we can bump the weight to where it's a trafficking charge if that's what you want. If you want to.
Yeah, it's got to be 2.2 pounds.
All right. Well, then we just need to make a kilo or more. I mean, what we'll do is, if you're interested, we can bump the weight to whatever charge you want. But I'm telling you, I can give you 40 people locally between this jackass and like I say, he's went back across the water right now. That's where he's at right now, but he's back over here also. I mean, you know how it is right over the river. They just bang and forth. They do what they do. But you're talking about that also. And I don't know how much of an ecstasy problem y'all got around here, but I can put you on a man that is supplying entire Columbus, and I'm sure he's supplying over here. I was told 3,000 tabs a month is what he's pumping over into Columbus. I can then take you, and there again, this is going to take cash. I mean, you're just going to, if this happens, somebody's going to have to put an electronic collar on me, put about 10 people in front of me and 10 people behind me, and keep me in sight and follow me. You know, I mean, we're going to have to go to him like you're the guy I'm talking about. I'm going to have to go to you and say, okay, you know, I've got $10,000. Let's go buy some tabs. And he's going to turn around and we're going to get in the vehicle and we're going to go visit the guy that he's buying from. And that guy has a pill press. He's supplying. He's international. He is not. I mean, no bullshit involved. He's getting his raw material out of the Netherlands. He's bringing it here, and he owns a pill press. He is pressing his own pills.
Okay.
Also, I know of a situation in which I know y'all don't want to hear this, but you got some law enforcement around here that's doing some stuff, to make a long story short. And I can take you up close and personal, but he's not doing anything locally here on a local basis. He's involved away. You know, he's in other states involved. And I can actually give you or give the FBI, because that's what this will involve. This will involve the FBI and the DEA. I can give you specifics where they can look up an FBI case number. And they can look and see where a particular person was arrested that can be tied to him. This person was caught with supposedly 180 pounds is what they were supposedly caught with. They were caught with 800 plants broken, okay? Which, when they pulled them all up, washed them off, you know, threw them with the roots in the bag, you know,
right.
It was 180 pounds. But these boys are not growing marijuana like these idiots are going to hear it.
Right.
These boys are high tech. These boys have been at it for 25 or 30 years. They've never been caught except this one time. And they didn't get caught. A grunt got caught. but I know who the queen bee is, so to speak, or the king of the hill. I do know who that is. I know that there's a judge involved, which is not a local judge, it's a judge elsewhere. There's 2,000 acres of land involved that they bought, that 5 of them own. I know of the 5, I know who the top dog is. I know their name. I've never met them, but I know their name, and I know about where they're at. We can find them. I know a major, what I'd call a lieutenant. You know, he's main dog. You know, if he's not one of the 5, he's the next dog in line. And another one of the growers. I know 3 out of 5, and I know there's 7 people involved that I know of. And they're also doing meth and coke, but they're running out all of them down. They're running from California, they're running Arkansas, and they're running here. I do know that they have brought meth and coke from California to Arkansas to here. I know that they brought marijuana from there to here. As far as, and this is, like I say, this is a local law enforcement board. But
It's a local guy that's involved?
He is on, he has a badge that has Russell County on it. And what I'm telling you, that's the reason I'm sitting over here in a room without telling the whole freaking world, because I'm gonna tell you something, man. I promise you this. I promise you this.
He's in our department.
Well, I don't know what you consider your department, but he is law enforcement in this county, all I'm gonna tell you. He's what I consider sheriff's department.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know whether he's legally or not, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the legal breakup, but
So you're saying he may be a reserve?
well, no, I know he's not a reserve, I know that. Somebody's got a badge and a gun and a uniform, I know that.
Well, I mean, but the reserves have a badge, a gun.
Okay, well, I have more.
And when I say reserve, is he somebody maybe that is a volunteer
No.
reserve that we give a badge and a gun and a uniform that
No.
comes down and works with us, or
No.
you're saying he's
No.
full-time?
No, he's full-time, which, you know, but what I'm trying to tell you is,
Okay.
you can't, and I'm telling you, you cannot let that leave this freaking room other than going to Tommy with it.
Okay.
I'm telling you. He's, you know, I mean, I know.
But it's hard for me to say that to him,
I know.
and I don't even have a name.
Well-
I mean, it's hard to go in there and go,
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this, I know how much y'all love Red Cook.
oh, I hate the motherfucker.
I'll bury the motherfucker. Listen to me, look me in the eye, I will bury the motherfucker.
I'm just telling you.
I know, listen to what I'm telling you, do you understand what I'm telling you? I will bury the motherfucker. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing this, I'm gonna tell you straight up. The day I got arrested, the son of a bitch went over to my house and exposed himself to my wife, my ex-wife. Dropped his drawer and baby, you need some of this.
That don't surprise me.
Well, I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, you know, I found out about this like on a moment's notice. I mean, I found out about what he's doing on a moment's notice. I've been out to his house to go out there, and I've seen his boys on the porch smoking their reefer. You know, they're all the boys are potheads, all of them. You know, them and their friends. I've seen him standing on his porch smoking a blunt. And I thought, well, you know, ain't none of my business. You know, he's law enforcement. And I ain't the police. I'm not. You know, I mean, I've busted in houses getting people, and there'd be cocaine sitting on the table. It's not my place to call. It's my place to get Joe Blow. I'm after Joe. And I didn't see a damn thing, because that's how I build my trust out in the street. You know that. That's why I can go and find this out and that out and that out and that out. People are going, oh, okay, because they know that my lips are sealed. I ain't got a damn thing to say. But the reason I'm sitting here talking about this is like I said, they're up here trying to put me up to shoot, and that's fine. If they don't want to deal with this and they don't want to work something out, that's fine. Okay. I mean, I'll go to trial, win, lose, or draw,
Okay.
and I'll go right up to shoot, and I'll sit right there, and I'll never say another freaking word.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean.
But the other part of it is that if they want an ecstasy ring, like I say, then, and I'm telling you, it's international, it's to have a pill press. Them bitches are rolling. And like I say, I already know that one business is doing probably $10 million a year, I mean, an actual physical building and business. And I know that they got a building and a business over in Columbus that's probably doing $2 million a year. And there's no telling what this guy's got. But those are the two things I know of. I know that the guy that's running around here that sells over in Columbus, he's got 5 people in Columbus that he sells to. That's all he does. And which Metro's run up on him, they just ain't caught him at it. They don't know, they don't realize what they missed. You know, they ran up on a little bit of marijuana that was somebody else's, you know, and they missed him by 5 minutes. You know, one of them deals. But, you know, to meet the guy, he's a nice, clean-cut guy, just like me and you, and in which, you know, his words were, he's pretty much left it alone. He got put in jail for 30 days or 60 days. It just scared the hell out of him. You know, I mean, he's a typical guy that's never gotten in trouble, never had any problems, doesn't want any problems. You know, he's got some kids, he's got I think a girlfriend or a wife. You know, he don't want, he's talking, I'm gonna quit that shit, I'm gonna quit that shit, you know, when he got locked up. But I guarantee you, we could walk down there with $10,000, and the reason we'd have to have that much is because you gotta get a price on the tabs to be able to let him go and take the tabs and go sell to the 5 idiots that he's got, because they're in turn selling to other people, but you could get the whole freaking bunch over there, and in the meantime, you could go to where he's buying them from, and it'd take a little bit of work, but you could get the boy he's selling to. I mean, there's no doubt about it, because I know he's also there. I know they're supplying his land, because I know the name and the location of the business up there where they're working out of up there, so I know who that is. But to make a long story short, I've got 15 things like that. And if y'all want to work it, and which, like I say, I ain't asking, you know, I'm asking for a lot, but I'm not asking for a lot. The fact of the matter is if y'all will sit down and pay attention, polygraph me on what I've got to talk about. When you know that I'm telling you the truth, right? When you know that, hey, there's no deception on my part, if we could work something out, where, you know, and I'm not saying don't go to jail.
Right.
I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is let me, you know, let my ass go on up to shoot a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you something. I need to go to jail for this to work, because the other part of it is everybody's eyes are on Mike. Everybody's wondering what Mike's doing. So I got to. I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I almost got to get convicted to go to jail to come back,
right,
and be in the loop, and I'm willing to do that. But I'm also telling you that when if I do this, if y'all will do the marijuana thing with the coke thing with these guys, if you will do it, if you'll listen to what I'm trying to tell you and how I want to do it, I'm telling you they're lining up like ducks. Because I've been working on this for a year, ever since I got locked up, because I know every jackass in jail. I know every one of them. I do. I know every freaking one of them over there right now. You know, I went down to jail this one time. There was 346 people in jail, and I personally had put 117 of them in there. You know, physically picked them up and set them in there myself. So, you know, I know I'm like you. I know every swinging dick that walks, talks, and takes a leak. But if y'all would do this thing in Columbus and here with that guy, and like I say, I prefer to do it over here so y'all can get the credit, so y'all can get the glory, so y'all can toot your horn, stand on the bandwagon, and see what a great thing we did. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, because there is politics involved, and I know that. I know that.
So let me make sure I'm clear. The things that you're talking about, like what you told me, you've got at least 15.
I've got 15 major things.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Major
Similar to the same caliber of what you just told me.
These kind of things.
Okay.
All bullshit aside.
And you're not saying that you're wanting the DA's office, if they're interested, to just let you walk. You're just saying you obviously want some consideration at sentencing.
Well, what I want, and I mean, I'll tell you what I want, and I don't care. I mean, I really don't care, because I know in my heart what I did or did not do.
Okay.
And I can live with myself.
Okay.
I'm very upset. I'm very upset at somebody else. I mean, all that's fine. But I cry a little bit each day.
Right.
But I'm big enough, boy, I'm gonna step up to the plate for whatever it is.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, if I can hand you Russell County, Lee County, Macon County, Barber County, what county is Dothan? Houston. All right, I can do Russell County if we get done with this. And like I said, this is not and let me say this too, This is not a 2-week thing.
Sure.
When we do this is a year at a minimum. I'm talking about go down here and rent a building, 2 people with me at all. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't want to be alone. My thoughts are, and I've already got everybody involved thinking, they're just waiting on me to get done with this and,
Right.
and hit the street. They're foaming at the mouth.
Right.
But if they do that, there will be hundreds of arrests. There won't be just 1 or 2, and I'm not saying
I understand.
they won't be just here. It will be here, there will be Lee County, there will be Muskogee County, there will be Richland, there will be some in Atlanta. But I'm telling you, you'll clean the dope dealers up around. And you'll have them all on film and video because the dumbasses came to you and bought from us on camera and video in our building. And I'm gonna dig you one better now. We're gonna know who they are before they buy from us. Already got that worked out.
I mean, yeah, you have to do that.
Well, I mean, I've already told them, I've already passed the word, I won't do any business with anyone. I'll tell you what I told them. I said, I'll do business with you, because what's going on is Jimmy Brooks, of course, is spreading all kinds of rumors around the jail. You know, I heard some jackass say that I owned land in Mexico. That's the biggest bunch of bullshit I ever heard in my life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know how it is, rumors just abound.
Right.
So, of course, I sat around and I said, well, hell, let's play it to the hilt. If everybody thinks this, let's just build on it. So basically what I've told them is that, hey, I'm connected, I'm hooked up, ain't no doubt about it. I can hook you up. Oh no, we ain't talking about just local boys, I'm mob connected. I said, if y'all do any business with me and my boys, I said, I can hook you up, you can do business with them, but you're gonna have to do it their way. I just told them, I said, we deal out of a bank. I said, those boys have got an operation dealing out of a bank. You drive up to the drive-up window, you get an ID card if you want to do business with them. We run their name to make sure they're not a snitch. Quote unquote, these idiots, they're idiots. I said, I can get in the day, because they know I can get in the Alabama and the Georgia stuff to see. So they think that I can get in the DEA database to see if you're a snitch. So, yeah, let's build on that. I told them, I said, we'll give you a Sam's card with your picture on it and an account number. And what we'll do is if you want to buy from me, you bring me a state-issued ID where I know exactly who you are. I'm going to run a criminal background on. I mean, I'm going to run an NCI on. I'm going to run a DEA database on it where I know if you're a snitch. Because they think there's a national database for snitches. They're idiots. So, but whatever.
But it works for us.
It works for us. So I told them, I said, as soon as you get approved, and I said, it's not me approving it, because I knew I couldn't run an NCI. So, but if one of your guys was standing there, he could run one. He can run a background. But the whole point is to get that state-issued ID to have dumbass sitting in that chair. You got him on tape and video while you're talking to him about joining the Mac Daddy's Club, and you know, for the marijuana and cocaine club. So you give him a card, like a Sam's card. You take his picture, you get a camera just like y'all got over there. You took, these cards y'all got with the ID on it. We get one of those, we take their picture, we give them an account number, we give them a card, a club card number with a strip on the back. They think they got something. We just got their picture. We got them on video. They're sitting in our office talking about how much coke they're gonna buy, how much marijuana they're gonna buy. Turn around, sell them a pound, 2 pounds, whatever we want to bump it up to. They're foaming at the mouth for $500 a pound for pot. We do that, we turn around, and what I told them was, I said, look, I said, but that ain't the best part, boys. I said, you know how when you're dealing marijuana and coke and you get locked up, your business just goes to shit? And we does. Y'all know what you need. I said, well, what if you had a way of keeping your money coming? Well, how? I said, well, listen to this, boys. I said, I'll sell you this pound of marijuana for $500. I said, that's fine, and Dan, you got a hell of a deal. I said, because, it's going for $1,200 a pound over in Tuskegee. It's dry over there. But they're paying $1,000, $1,200 a pound. I said, but what if I sold you $500 a pound? And I said, I know you got friends that smoke. Well, hell yeah. I
said, well, think about this. What if you go get your friend that's dealing also, and he's your competitor, I might add? Well, hell yeah, he's my competitor. Well, what if you made money off of your competitor? Would you like that? He said, well, yeah, I'd like that. How are we gonna do that? I said, just watch. For every pound I sell you, you go and find me 5 friends. Do a little multi-level marketing here. Go pyramid. You go get me 5 guys. We check them out. We let them, you tell them before they come over there. We check them out. We get their ID. We sit them down in the chair, get their picture. We have a microphone under the table, or whatever, you know. Do the standard issue with them. And I turn around and I sell him, and him a pound or 2 pounds or whatever our minimum requirement is. Excuse me. It's the food in the jail. Bad food. But out of that $500 that I pay, that they pay me, guess what? You're getting some of it. At the end of the month, we're going to sit down because we're going to track every sale. That's the reason for the card. I take your card and put you in the computer. And when they buy from me, I get their card and I swipe it through the machine. What I'm doing is give me an account number off the back of it so I can document the sale at that time. There's no doubt I had his card that I made for him, that I gave to him on film, and it's been run through the card scanner. He bought this much at this time, and it's on film. There's no denying. There it is. And then I'm going to turn around and credit your account in the computer with a commission for every pound that Dumbass buys. And then when Dumbass, he can go get 5 people. And when those 5 go get 5, guess what? You make money off the second layer. You make it 4 layers deep. And you wouldn't believe they're lining up like ducks. I got over 100 lined up right now. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's not... That's my writing, and that's somebody else's writing for how many people and how many kilos they think they could sell just of coke, just on what they could personally sell. But I got their fingerprints. But I'm just telling you, if y'all were willing to work with it and run with it, send me up to shoot for a little bit, let my feet hit the ground, put me on probation, quote unquote. I'll come back and tear this town up. I'll shut it down for you. I shut the whole freaking thing down I'm talking about. Like I say, no joke. In 6 to 8 counties. I thought about doing it over in Columbus, but I think just do it here. Y'all can have all the guts, the blood, and the glory, and let it rip.
Well, I mean, you've obviously thought about it a lot. And
I have.
Put a lot of thought into
Well,
it.
see, I've sat down for a year. The reason I hadn't said anything to you for a year, I mean, I've sat here for a year, and you know that. You know, I was going to say something to you the day that I was brought down here, but Mark Carter said, don't say nothing, so I didn't say nothing. And I've sat here for a year with my mouth shut for the very reason of letting things just die down a little bit, just let everybody chill for 10 minutes, and then to where everybody's confidence over there. Because, of course, they're on that phone night and day over there, you know, and they write letters. I mean, they're like a mail drop over there. I mean, they're getting 4 or 5 letters a day over there, some of them. You know, and of course, the fact of the matter is, and this is the reason I'm telling you, you can't say anything to anybody but maybe Tommy to start with, because word amongst, I mean, y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Right.
And it's like in Rick's case. People talk to Rick, I'm telling you. I mean, Ray Wells is like a loose bucket.
I think you pretty much knows I don't like it.
Well, I know that. Well, I know, but I see it. Rick can't know that I'm down.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
He's got, and see, the other part of it is I don't know. It's like, what's that other boy's name? Daryl Powell?
Mhm.
Is it Daryl Powell?
Yeah.
You know, they're little buddies, and I'm not saying Daryl's doing anything, I'm not saying
Right.
Daryl's doing anything wrong.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying loose mouths
Right.
sink ships.
You're right.
And I guarantee you that if one word, I'm talking about one word, gets back to Rick, there'll be a phone call made, and they'll pack everything they got up. It'll all be hush, 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 quiet.
Well, I mean, the first thing you said was exactly right. You know that I alone can't make that decision.
I know that, I know.
And, you know, I will certainly take what I've been told today in the contents, being, when I say contents, just the little bit that I've been told, understanding that there's a lot.
Yeah.
I will take that to, the, you know, Tommy and KD.
Yeah, I know it's gotta go, Ken's the final decision, and I know that. And I know Ken, and I'll see, so tell you this, I know Ken's got political considerations to consider, I know this.
Right.
Whether he's gonna admit it or not.
Right.
This is a political issue. This is not about Mike or not Mike. This is a political issue. That's what this is, a public political issue. And what I'm saying is if he will give me some consideration here, to where we can plead this to something that's reasonable.
I understand.
And I'm not above, I mean, the problem I got is like if I plead murder, that's a 20-year sentence, and I won't see daylight for, I mean, it's 20 to life.
Right.
And I'll never get out if I do these things.
Right, I see what you're saying.
But what I'm getting at is if y'all will plead it to, you know, if we can do something like in Butch's case, if you want to convict me of that, convict me of assault with a deadly weapon, convict me of whatever. I mean,
Right.
That's fine. You know, charge me $25,000 fine. I don't care. It ain't about the money. I really don't care about the money. I just don't. When all this is said and done, if we do this, I do have some personal items here I want.
Right.
Y'all, when you went in my office, you took some emerald rings. Those are mine. I mean, they're not. I mean, there's nothing hokey pokey about them. I can show you where I bought the raw stones. I took the raw stones to the jeweler the jeweler boxes are in. He mounted them for me. I paid him for them. They are mine.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing hokey pokey about it. There's a gold ring that was in the safe. It's got a gold coin in it. It's got some diamonds. That is mine. I can show you exactly where it came from. There's nothing hokey pokey about it. There's a pocket knife that was taken as a U.S. Army World War II pocket knife. There's nothing hokey pokey about it. It's my stepson's granddaddy's pocket knife from World War II. I would like to have that back.
Well, I mean, we can certainly
I know. I'm just
talk
saying,
about that
I'm just
stuff.
saying, it's just, that's minor.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very
But I
minor.
see what you're saying.
But I don't care about anything else. And for me to do this, and I'll even tell you this now, and you already know what I told Lee County. When he told me what they had done and where they had done it at, I think I took them. I mean, I sat right there and told him. I took them up there to a house. I believe it. I mean, you know, I don't know what they did. I wasn't there. I went up the road to get a bite to eat, a drink. You know, I came back. They were standing there. You know, basically what I was told is everybody was in a pissed off mood and they left.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, there's absolutely no involvement, no intent. The only thing I'm guilty of is giving the dumbasses a ride.
Okay.
And which you know, and like I say, we can do the same thing. I can give them about 50. I can't give them what I'm giving you here, but I can give them probably 50.
A substantial amount.
Oh, and like I said, I'm not talking about a dime bag. I am not talking about a $20 rock. Piss on all that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand.
You know, you're spinning your wheels down here, busting your ass, chasing that $20 rock. You know, you spend. I mean, you know what you.
And it gets old.
You know what you spend. You spend $5,000, or you might even spend $10,000 chasing and prosecuting. Well, like Boo Boo Gaucher, for instance, you've been chasing that dumbass for years. You know, you ain't never really caught him for nothing. You know, I mean, you got him over there. I think what is he? He's over there now for what, an attempt or an assault or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And you know, he had 4 attempted murders. I can get that on tape. I mean, I don't know if you can go back after it's been null promise, but guess what? He's over there laughing right now. Ain't nothing but a slap on the wrist. Ain't nothing but a slap on the wrist. His words last. He told me the other day, he says, as soon as he gets out, he's got 2 people he's going to go kill. I'm talking about lay them down and finish them. I'm talking about done. Those are his words, and I can get that on tape. But, you know,
Well,
the issue is I was going to tell you something, man, while we're, I mean, like I say, there's just so much. I mean, we could spend 2 weeks just talking.
And eventually we'll have to.
I mean, I know.
But I mean, the bottom line is I want to be fair to you
I understand.
in that,
I
you know, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna ask to get into the details until
Right.
Mr. Davis says, yes, we can, or no, we can't. And at the point he says, yes, we can, if that's his decision, then we're gonna have to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'll sit down for, you know,
Absolutely. I mean,
weeks
right.
and go over everything.
Right.
But I mean, until then,
Right, I
I
understand.
think it's fair that you
It is.
keep it close to you.
I will.
and-
I have nothing to say, you know, in regards of exact things.
Right.
Which what I will tell you is, if y'all will work this out, which, you know, I gotta work something out, you know, we need to work something out with Lee County. Like I say, I don't mind pleading to the accessory or whatever, I mean, because like I say, I mean, absolutely, I mean, they're running around looking for fingerprints, they're running around looking for this. They ain't gonna find it, because I wasn't there.
Right,
I wasn't freaking there.
right.
I drove the dumbass up there because I got asked to take him to a friend's house. That's all I knew. I mean, and if that makes me a sorry son of a bitch, I reckon I am.
Right, I understand.
You know, but I can live with that. I regret what they did. I believe in my heart, I believe they did. I mean, seeing, you know, I just believe it. You know, I can pass a polygraph, I don't know, but I do believe it.
Right.
And my words would be is hang the motherfucker. I mean, I don't want him living in my neighborhood.
I understand.
But, and you also got some other things you're running around looking for. But, I can put you on 2 property thefts, 3 cash thefts, 2 break-in and enterings, 2 conspiracy to commit murders. There's 2 other dumbasses, as soon as they hit the street, they ain't done it yet, but they're gonna go and, go clean somebody out, what they're gonna do. Their words were, is there stack of money this big on the table, and kilos and kilos and kilos of cocaine. You know, tons of it, you know, I mean, when I say tons, I'm talking about, you know, a basket full. You know, there's probably 5 or 10 pounds is what they're probably talking about. But he was talking about a stack of cash this high on the table, filled the table. In which that's out of state, they're gonna drive and go do that. I've got a situation I can put you on to somebody in which I can give you banks, account numbers, and people for a guy that's at least racketeering.
Laundering.
Now, I believe, in my heart, I believe that's what he's doing. There's nothing that I can give you that's concrete. I can't look at you and say, I saw this, but I can give you that, yeah, I know that he got $25,000 on this day in cash, and I know who gave it to him. I know that he got $100,000 in cash on this day, and this is who gave it to him. I know that he received this money and that he cashed that check on this day at that bank. And it involves the banks both in this state and in Georgia. I mean, he's both places. And I'm sure in Atlanta too, you know, he ranges all over. And I believe, and I don't know, you know, he actually puts this out, but you know, he's supposedly mob connected, and I believe it in a way. I believe his family is. I think he's a pissant, is what I think he is. But I know, I figured it up the other day, and there's $500,000 in money that I can think of, and I can prove part of it. But what he did with it, I don't know. But my words to you would be is to look the money up, see that he got the money, and then see that he reported on his income taxes. Because I guarantee you the dumbass don't. Because what he does is when he gets his IRS notice, his IRS has been on his ass for years. What he does is when he gets a letter from him, fuck them son of a bitches and throws it in the trash. He don't even open the mail. That's how much regard he's got. But he does take trips to Bogota, Colombia. And his words were, one day I asked him about him, he said, well, I'm hunting rattlesnakes. He ain't hunting rattlesnakes in Bogota. Give me a break. You know, I'm stupid, but I ain't real stupid. You know, and I do know that he uses coke. I do know that, because a bunch of little cokehead and meth heads around here run with him. Something else too. Got a guy that I can put on y'all, and he's here and across the water, you know. And this guy, I've got his fingerprints. He's a co-signer on a bond I did. I don't have a lot of personal information on him. I may have a picture of him in the folder. I should have his fingerprints where he signed the document. I should have a photo of the vehicle he's driving, and I do have tag numbers. And I already know that the tag numbers don't come back to that vehicle. The tag numbers come back to another vehicle of some people that he's related to. You know, what what's happening is he's running around, but to make a long story short, he's a meth cooker, is what he is. Now, he goes and gets the products, and I assume he's cooking. I mean, he's too geeky, he's too on edge not to be using too. But the last time I saw him, his words were, he had a 300-gallon bottle of anhydrous. I mean, so he's major. He had to he was working on getting his money man, and his money man's in Florida somewhere. And I got an idea, but I can't look at you and say, I know he's in Tallahassee. I can't do that. I can tell you what I think and what I know, But I do know that he told me that he had a 300-gallon tank, and it was in Dothan, and they found a GPS transmitter on it. And he let it, I don't know if he took the transmitter off and kept the bottle, or if he just left the bottle. But evidently DEA was on his ass. I don't know if a GPS tracker goes on those bottles now or not.
I don't know, coming from the factory, I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know. I know that they're using ether and anhydrous to do a lot of cooking these days. They're blowing buildings up left and right. But to make a long story short, I don't know if it was where, like the factory or maybe the supply house, because I think now you even got to be licensed to buy the anhydrous. I mean, it used to be, you just went down and bought the anhydrous, put it on your corn. But because of what these dumbasses are doing with it now, it's another issue. It's like those taggets they're putting in ammonium nitrate. It used to be you just went and bought 50 tons of ammonium nitrate and went and throw it on the corn. Now it's like, well, there's taggets in it, so they know what bomb it was used to make. But with 300 gallons of anhydrous, he has got to be major. He's driving a vehicle with Mexican plates on the front and Alabama plates on the back.
Yeah.
And his words to me was, he tried to get me to go to Mexico with him to bring 1,000 pounds back. Because at the time, I was working him to get to the person that I was looking for. He was being really evasive about the bond. It was a halfway, reasonably good-sized bond. And of course, I was needing the person. So, I'm over there buying him lunch. He's walking around smacking at the lips. I'm buying him lunch, buying him a beer. Let's talk. Talk to me. Talk to me. But he offered to pay me X number of bucks just to drive a truck back from the border down there to Texas or whatever, which I told him, hell no. In a nice, polite way. I thought, I can't get to it. I didn't tell him, hell no. I said, I just never got around to it. Always too busy. So I don't know if he brought 1,000 pounds of pot back or not, but he can buy it down there for $100 a pound and 1,000-pound loads. So evidently he's involved. I mean, he's doing shit.
Right.
Got another guy while I'm thinking about it. While I'm thinking about it, got some boys that are counterfeiting while I'm thinking about it. And I don't know who they are, but I do know who can go buy some money for us. They're selling it for 30 cents on the dollar. Rumor Control has it that they've got a room full. I mean, they printed a bunch before they ever passed the first dollar. Supposedly, and I've never seen any of it. I've never had any of it in my hand. I've never had the privilege of having a piece of it to look at. But they say it's got the security strip. They say it's got the water mark. That it's got the blue and the green on the ink. That it's got the micro printing. They're saying it's JAMA, but they got 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. And you buy it for 30 cents on the dollar. So, they locked him up for something else. Got him on a little pot charge or something. I knew about him, but it just never crossed my mind. I put two and two together because I had called the city. I think it was the city I called about 2 years ago. Ricky Epps was running around printing a bunch of money. A bunch of bad money. When we were going over to Pat Weeks' dice games and cocaine parties, he was, they throw the dice and then the ink was washing off on the money. They whooped his ass. They took him out, throwed him out in front door and whooped his ass, for passing bad money. But I called the city and put the city on that one. I know what I did. I didn't call the city. I called my buddy over here at
Secret Service.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I called them. What happened was I had some federal marshals come to me one day wanting, and I can't remember this guy's name, but they had a secret indictment on him out of Virginia. And I I just got him out, so of course, I'm the next stop on the chain of looking for it. And I said, well, you know, don't tell anybody I gave you the folder, but here's the folder, make copies. You know, we burned a copy. And I said, I really would appreciate it, let's get him and just throw him back in jail, and then you snatch him up out of jail. And I said, nah. I said, y'all just take him and I'll explain it to the judge. Maybe the judge will be in a good mood. So they went right over and got him. But I had the guy's card. And I called him and I put the bug in his ear and I told him, I said, you know, I said, long as he says, now you know what you're saying, I'm gonna kill the Secret Service. I said, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Just go do it. You know, so, because I heard from Ricky Epps was getting his ass whooped over the money, and then Moncello Epps, which is Ricky Epps' nephew, and that's a complete idiot. That's a real piece of work. But I had him on bond, and he had come down there one day running his mouth about it. I mean, it was like a faucet. It's like, you know, he wanted me to buy some. I said, you stupid son of a bitch. Why would I want to buy any when I can earn some? You know, I think I'll just keep my money, you keep your money. But he's running around trying to pass money. That's what he's doing. But and there's another guy I got out that's probably FTA'd on us by now. I'm sure he has. I know he had no intention of ever coming back. I found that out when I got to looking for him. But I found out he's not who he is. What he's doing, which when I got him out, I wasn't thinking, you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm tired, been up for 3 days, ain't had no sleep. But I didn't get him out on a little bond. It's possession of a forged instrument or a bad check or
Something small.
something very minor. I mean, a bullshit charge, you know, whatever, what I call a bullshit charge, you know, a couple $1,000, it ain't the end of the world. Well, I found out what area it is the end of the world in his case. The deal with him is he's not who he said he is. The addresses, his ID, all of that is fake. The cousin that came and picked him up, state issued ID is fake. The vehicle, I've got his fingerprints, I've got a picture of him and his co-signer, a picture of the state issued ID that they used, a picture of the truck and a tag number and a phone number in Atlanta where they're supposedly coming in and out of. I don't think it's his mother's number. I was told it was his mother's number. That's not his mother's number. That's a contact. That's a contact number is what that is. You call up there, leave a message, he gets back with you. So I don't believe it's mama for a minute. But what he's doing is, and I didn't realize it at the time, because he had an accent and I didn't pay it any attention. It was, you know, I was thinking, you know, he said he was from somewhere else. And I said, you know, whatever, that's cool. As long as I got a native to sign for it, and it's family, so here comes cousin, got all the proper ID. What he's doing is he's going to the Georgia State Patrol, paying somebody $250. Like if I need an ID for you, I set you down in the chair. They do the driver's license, and the driver's license and the operator $250. Have a nice day. You're now in the computer state issued ID. And it didn't dawn on me until I got locked up over here. You know, I bet you I know what them son of a bitches are doing. That son of a bitch is Muslim. He's a black, middle-aged, you know, young, black. I'll bet you that's what them son of a bitches are doing. I mean, I can't tell you.
Right.
But I mean, you know, like I say, the hair, when I thought about it, I mean, like, oh shit, that's what them son of a bitches are doing. So, there might be something major to him, you know, it might be very, very minor.
Right.
But what they're doing is they were running around Atlanta at the time cashing checks. They were printing checks, their own checks, I mean, you know, from scratch. And they'd always have a check for less than $500, so it wasn't a felony. And they would go and cash the check. And I mean, this is what they did 8 hours a day, all day long, you know, get in the car and here we go, and their payroll checks and what they are. And he came down here to do it because he was wearing Atlanta out. He came down here. Whoops, first one he tried, he got popped here. You know, bad day. He said he ain't never coming back. But he's been wearing them out in Georgia, you know. But like I said,
Well, I think you've told me enough
I
to.
know, I'm just trying to get you a clear understanding. And like I said, when you talk to Ken, tell him I know that he has political considerations. This is not about throwing shit in his face.
Right, I
This
understand.
is not about this. I've got all, I mean, you know, I have my own opinion of him, just like you do, and everybody for him in the situation he's in.
Well,
But I also, he really just doesn't know. And like I say, and it's not things that, you know, I ain't been running around being stupid. It's things I just know about, and I can, and I will, and I'm not asking, like I say, when you talk to him, I'm not asking to just hit the street and have a nice day. What I'm saying is if he will drop this down some, make it to where, yeah, Mike goes to jail for a little bit, and I already know, and you already know, that Mike can get convicted, Mike can get sent up the road, and the parole board can do a miraculous thing through the DA, through the general attorney's office. You know, Mike just made parole, and the luck. You know it, and I know it, and I'm not above going up to shoot for a little bit, because I need that for the respect of who's involved. But once that's done, what I want out of this, once that's done, if it's done, if we do this, what I'm gonna want in the end, I mean, the end result, what I want, I mean, this is, when I do these guys, I mean, and I ain't talking about just these local guys, when I do this ecstasy ring, when I do those marijuana, meth, and cocaine traffickers that are, you know, California, Arizona, Texas, here, they're in Chicago, I mean, these guys are national. They are never gonna stop looking for me. You already know that. My ass is, I'm a walking dead man. What I want is I want federal witness protection, and I will walk away from everybody I know and I care about. But I'll do this.
okay.
You know, I don't know how the federal thing works, but what I would want.
Well, it's not
You know,
as complicated as everybody makes it out to be. I mean,
well, what I want out of it, if we do that, and I want to be very clear about this, I mean, the absolute thing I want is I don't want my mother and father to know that I'm
right.
out working undercover. I don't want my ex-wife to know, and we're divorced, she's not, you know, she's sending me money, making sure I got money on the books, but she's fixing to get married. She's fixing to marry somebody else, and off into the wild blue yonder they're gonna go.
Okay.
What I want, and which my youngin is in the Alabama state system, which I don't think he's gonna have a problem out of this.
Okay.
I think he can just stay where he's at, do his time. You know, they might kick him out to get him out of the system so he doesn't get a shank put in him.
Right.
You know, but let him deal with his own problems. I mean, he is doing stupid stuff. He's sitting right where I told him that he'd be if he did what he did.
Right.
So I'm not asking for anything really for him other than maybe get him out of where he's at so he don't get a shank up his ass. If he goes back and does something stupid, lock his ass up.
Right.
But if we do this and we do the federal thing, I want to die in a very public way. In other words, I want a death certificate with my name on it that says I died over here while I was fishing, or I was found in the lake floating. I mean, you know, I went and had a seizure. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I died. A death certificate, to where a death certificate can be mailed to my mother and my father. A death certificate can be mailed to Catherine, to where they can have some closure, to where I'm deceased, because I'm on the next plane to Tahoe.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to need them to put me on an airplane and tuck me away somewhere. And I'm not asking for no check. I'm not asking for them to buy me a house. None of that shit. I'll make my own.
Well, just hold tight here. Let me find somebody to walk you down, and I'll be back in touch with you.
That's cool. And hey, listen to me for a second. When you get back in touch with me, I'm just nervous about it. I don't want to lose my house. When you get back in touch with me, do not tell